Hi drummers, Garey Williams here, your drum set mastermind and creator of the Drumset Artistry Mastermind group. It's a beautiful morning here. In this video, I'd like to discuss endorsements. First of all, I'd like to put a shout out to Kiwan, a member of this group who just received a Soul Tone cymbal endorsement. Congratulations, this is awesome. My first endorsement was with Pork Pie Percussion back in about 1988. From there, I got a stick endorsement with a drumstick company called Rimshot Drumsticks. They're no longer in existence. After that, my next endorsement was with Vic Firth sticks via Dom Familero's assistance. I believe after that, I received an endorsement with Yamaha drums. I didn't really like them, so I went back to Pork Pie. Then after that, I tried Pearl drums and worked with that company for a little while. And then from there, I went on to the DW company, where I was with that company for probably about 8 years. Great folks, really support education hugely. And then finally, I arrived at Ludwig drums. Sometime back, I got a Remo drum endorsement, drum head endorsement that is. And then eventually I received a Sabian cymbal endorsement, which I had for almost 2 decades, until more recently I'm now a Paiste artist. In addition, I have an LP endorsement, an endorsement with sim pads, an endorsement with head cases, and geez, there might be something else. I'm sorry if I've forgotten. Anyways, I wanted to talk about what's involved in gaining an endorsement, and there are different levels of endorsements depending upon the company. I know with Sabian they had like a platinum, gold, and silver, and basically you can become a regional artist, you can become a national artist, or you can become an international artist. And I know with Vic Firth they actually have a private educators program that they've supported, which I was a member of for a while. To gain an endorsement requires that you have the skill set to play the instrument to a pretty high degree. That's unfortunately not always the deciding factor. If you are in a band that has a lot of high visibility, you can just be granted an endorsement because many fans that will come and watch you perform will automatically just want to purchase the same equipment that you have. And in fact, that's what I did, and I'm sure many of you do, is that you're researching some of your favorite drummers' sounds and making this determination that, wow, you know, their stuff sounds great. I'd like to have that same quality sound, so you naturally will go out and purchase the same products. I certainly did for years. I had actually a Dave Weckl clone drum set that he borrowed on his first clinic to Seattle many years ago because the music store that sponsored the event couldn't get his drum set from Japan in time. And anyways, that's another whole story. But many of us can become what I call brand programmed. And what I mean by that is that we associate a certain sound with a certain artist, and we think that that's the sound that we should have. And certainly we learn to speak by imitating, we learn to drum by imitating. And so achieving a certain quality of sound is definitely important. And the reason that I'm now playing the Ludwig drums that I am and the Paiste cymbals that I am is because I came to this realization in many years of playing, after about 45 years to be honest with you, that the sound that I was constantly hearing in my head was the sound that I grew up listening to on the recordings that I was inspired by in my early developmental years. So the drummers that inspired me played Paiste cymbals, Ludwig drums. And of course Remo drum heads have been the standard in the industry for years. And so when I really came down to it, after many years of working with Sabian and trying to get a sound that was the sound that was in my head, I came to the realization that the sound that was in my head was a Paiste cymbal sound, specifically the Formula 602 Classic series. And then the sound that was also in my head was the Ludwig Classic maple drum sound. Now, I played the Legacy maple, which is a different wood recipe than the mahogany or Legacy mahogany, than the Classic maple. When you search for drums, there's a lot of ingredients to producing the sound: the kind of wood, the bearing edge, the thickness of the shell, the counter hoops, the lug placement, whether they're on an isolated mounting system. I really pursued endorsements for a quality of sound. I would not endorse a product if I didn't really believe in the sound. And then it's an educational process, having owned like 35 plus drum sets and hundreds of cymbals with varying companies over the many years I've been drumming, about 46 or 47 now. I've really begun to understand the subtle differences between the different manufacturing companies' sounds. But the big point is that you want to be able to provide an energy exchange. And what I mean is that if you're going to have a company that's going to sponsor your clinics, you certainly want to be legitimate in your belief in the product and really stand behind the sound. And as we evolve as musicians, our ear evolves, and so we're going to hear new sounds, and so we might make some equipment changes over the years. A big part of it is supportive education. I've dedicated my life to being an educator more than a performer because of the impact I can have on people when I can show them what it is that they'd like to learn, rather than just coming in and watching me perform and not really being able to understand what's going on. And so the companies that I stand behind me. So when I go out and do clinics, they support my clinics financially with giveaway products. And of course I get most all of my products direct from the companies now. So it's a great relationship, and I'm proud to say that I was able to gain my endorsements because of my playing and teaching ability, not because of being a celebrity drummer. So in some respects, I'm more proud of my endorsements, because certainly if I was in a popular touring band, they would just automatically be offered to me. Many years ago, I studied with Michael DeRozier from Heart, and I was just in awe of his pad. He was definitely the rock star with a nice house and fancy cars, and he had a whole room that seemed to be full of drum sets and cymbals and boxes of drumsticks. And he made a comment once. He said, just when you start making enough money to pay for this stuff, the companies start giving it to you. And that's really the truth. So they're going to sell product because they know that you're brand programmed. If you watch them play something, you're going to want to buy it. That's a good place to start. But understand that there's a sound that you hear in your head, and it may not be in a particular brand. You may have to do some searching and be really honest with your ear, as I was, because I really wanted the companies I was working with to be the right company for the long haul. And then again, as I go deeper into understanding more about myself and developing my skills as a drummer and a musician, part of that, of course, is the sound that I want to produce on the instrument. So generally speaking, you want to be of service to the company that you are working with and see what you can do to support them rather than always asking for them to support you. And I don't get my equipment free. That's a misnomer amongst people that think that when you get an endorsement, you automatically get everything given to you. No, you get a great discount. Perhaps if you're a celebrity drummer on the nature of a really high-end drummer, then you might get some free gear. But for myself, which is a regional artist and primarily focused on education and doing some recording on the side, I have that type of a relationship with the company where we support each other. So I know this was a little longer video, but I wanted to kind of espouse a little bit on the endorsement concept. And if you're interested in learning more about endorsements, that's something that really will present itself when your playing gets to a level where you're really ready to kind of pursue a professional career as a drummer. As a hobbyist, there's not much of a chance for you to actually earn that type of a relationship with the company. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Be nice to yourself. Continue practicing, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.